Welcome to AI Horror Stories. Prepare for terrifying tales crafted by artificial intelligence. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for new stories. I've lived more than 15 years in the same old house, which was once an antique shop in a very busy area. I just didn't like the place when I first came to live here with my parents. My father died very soon after we moved in. My mother afterwards started seeing visions of my dad sitting at her bed. She said she was awake and the visions couldn't be a dream. I wasn't convinced back then because it's too weird to believe as many events are here. But I know now that everything we saw and felt was so true. When I was about 12 years old, I moved into my own room next to the attic underneath the roof. Here I started having weird dreams. I had to walk a big long staircase without any light before reaching my room, so I got used to darkness. It's not that darkness was playing tricks on me, which it often does to people, but I started experiencing strange events in my room. One night I was sleeping and suddenly I heard someone shouting my name through the house. I woke up and I heard it. I said, "Yeah, what's wrong?" And again I heard my name. So I walked to my mother's room and she was sleeping, my brother too. There was no one else in our house, which was frightening since it was so clear I'd heard my name. I went back to bed and again I heard my name. It began driving me crazy, but I tried to ignore it. I started having serious nightmares about places which appeared on the news. I also started having dreams about places where dead people were found. I experienced certain nightmares which were always identical. One night I dreamt about our attic where I heard a man calling my name. In that same dream, I saw someone hanging on a rope fixed to the beams of the roof. I had that dream more than a week straight, so I asked my mom if someone died here in this house. She said that the only one she knew of was the antique shopkeeper who had hung himself. This just made me feel uncomfortable. I didn't tell my mom about my dream, but now I know that the guy from my dream was the shopkeeper who lived here. I now believe my mom's story about seeing my dad on her bed staring at her. The another story is the little girl who wasn't. I lived in a house from hell for 4 years, from age 11 to almost 16. There was constantly something happening. Doors flying open and shut, voices, footsteps. Nothing ever stayed where you put it. I was alone there a lot because both my parents worked and I was constantly terrified. One of the most gut-level disturbing things, though, was the little girl in my bathroom. Every time I walked past my bathroom door, which was constantly since it was right outside my bedroom, I saw a little girl with blonde curled hair and a rose-colored dress. She just stood there, staring, looking like a photograph from 1905. I started keeping the door closed so I could walk by without seeing her. But she was always there when I opened it. Once I stepped in past her. I couldn't see her anymore, but I could feel her there. She scared me, but I felt really sorry for her because she was trapped there just like me, but probably forever. As the years went by and things in the house continued to get worse, she started seeming darker. I started feeling like she wasn't really a little girl. I knew there was something ugly in the house and I felt like it was presenting this sympathetic image to me. Then I started thinking I was completely losing my mind. One day, when I was 14, I had a friend from out of town come stay with me for a week. I hadn't told her anything whatsoever about the house because I didn't think she would come if I did. Right after she got there, we were sitting in my room and she left to go to the bathroom. About a minute later, she walked back in with a puzzled look on her face and said, "So, there's a little girl in your bathroom." Yeah, she hangs out in there. Blonde hair, curls, pink dress. Yeah. You know that's not really a little girl, don't you? I almost threw up. I was so relieved and terrified and excited and ready to run out of the house screaming. She wouldn't use my bathroom the rest of the week and I started using it as little as possible without pissing off my parents, who did not want to believe. Eventually we moved out and I could not have been happier. I distanced myself from it mentally as much as I could. Then, when I was 18, I took another friend on a road trip to pack up a few things I'd left in the house. My parents hadn't managed to sell it and wouldn't for 5 more years. The minute we got on the property, my friend seemed uncomfortable. When we came around the bend in the long, steep driveway, he went completely white. I could tell something was wrong, but he insisted he was okay, so we got to work. After a while, he asked to use the bathroom and I directed him to mine. Not 20 seconds after he left, he came running back in, gasping for breath, and slammed the bedroom door behind him. He started babbling about a little blonde girl who isn't really a little girl. All of a sudden he went dead still, looked me in the eye, and very solemnly said, "She's not happy with you. You left, and you weren't supposed to." We threw whatever we could grab in 2 trips in my car, after I walked him to another bathroom and waited outside the door, and got the out at top speed.